All right. Hey, what up, guys?
What's up, everybody?
Welcome to the second day, final day of The Cage, live from Costa Rica. I'm Scott, a.k.a. The Hop Grenade. This is Bet on Drew.
Yo.
And we're here hanging out live for America's Card Room's live marquee event. And, man, I'm looking forward to it. We got a couple of a lot of fun players, and some piles out there.
I know we got Ryan and Andy both at the feature table right now.
Which is, we heard your cries from yesterday, and so of course today that was our main goal, was to make sure we brought you some Andy and some Ryan, and so yeah, let's let them do most of the talking. That's pretty much my plan for today. Oh, and hey guys, look, it's Fat Train.
Hey.
What happened with you, buddy?
So JJ tried to punt to me and he failed. So instead, he got my last 2.8K. So that's lame.
Oh man. Well.
So JJ went perfect runner to make a 4-card straight with his 10s, and he can die in a fire. Good talk. See you guys out there.
Okay. Well, hey, thanks guys for hanging out with us for an exciting day of No Limit Hold'em.
So it looks like we probably got a big pot going here. It was Andy raised to 200 with Ace King, got 3-bet by Zephania, called.
Tough spot for Andy. He whiffs the flop, and so he decides when check to, why am I checking back? Like, I'm not trying to get closer to showdown. Maybe I can just steal it now. Maybe Zephania has jacks. I can just win. Maybe they'll just fold.
Yep.
Tens.
Yep.
But, of course, that is not what is happening here. And Andy, I suspect after getting called here, oh
boy.
Now Andy,
he has the king of spades.
He does. And that looks like the most nutted turn card what there ever were. Because even if, like, Zephania has something like ace-queen or queen-jack suited, well, Andy just turned the best hand. He has the best hand on turn so often.
And he's betting 1.5K into 3K, it looks like.
And this is now, it went from a, maybe I can just win now bet on the flop to a value bet here on the turn. And he's, I suspect, with 3 spades out there, about to get raised.
Yeah, I would assume.
This is a jam spot for Zephania.
Yeah, with how many chips he has left.
And Andy will not be able to fold, I don't think.
Yep, and Andy's going to call here for sure.
For sure. This is a cooler.
Felt that coming.
Yeah. Are you ever checking back here with the ace king as played on turn instead of betting?
Sometimes.
Yeah?
Yeah, for sure sometimes.
Like, just because, like, I don't know, are we scared of any river cards? It doesn't seem like a terrible spot to check back now, but then I don't want to be too I can see the cardsy, but it doesn't seem like an awful spot to check back, given that you don't really mind any river card.
And the fact that Zephania here is shorter stacked.
Right.
I think if personally, if we were deeper, I would probably be betting the turn more here.
Sure, for value, but like when we're shallower, you set up some awkward get jammed on spots. Tough spot for Andy.
And too, when they have like 10s and jacks and some of those hands that are check calling flop, they're just going to fold this turn a lot of the time. So we might be able to check off the turn ace and then value bet the river.
Now, of course, this is not a bluff. Andy has become experienced enough and has good card instincts just sort of naturally to know that, like, players that don't think as much would just snap call.
Yeah.
Like top with a flush draw.
Yeah, it's like a king of spades.
But in fact, like Dell is pointing out, Andy can only beat a bluff or like a turned flush draw, but he has the king of spades.
Yeah.
There's no turn flush draw that's doing this.
Yeah.
So he has to know that he's just looking for a spade.
Yeah, exactly.
I got a fucking sick draw. I feel like he has fucking pocket queens though.
Wow, he just nails
Get him, Andy.
Andy just
Let's
great
see if he
instincts.
can make it. Let's see if he can make the fold now.
Terrific instincts. This is the classic curse of the poker player. You develop your instincts. You know what's going on, and then your hand won't listen to your damn brain.
Yep. So this is that point. This is that exact point here. Let's see if Andy can now exercise discipline. He wants to call though.
Of course. I mean, he's king with the king of spades. This would be a sick laydown. Agonizing spot.
He looks like he's leaning a little bit more now towards folding. His
With
hands are off the chip.
The posture on the cards, yeah.
Yep.
How much is in the pot before his all in?
He's
Tell
doing
me
how he
about.
wants pot odds. So he needs to call 1 point. What is it?
2.2.
1.7 more to win 9. Oh my goodness, it's close.
I'm not gonna draw for my whole fucking.
Wow, what a lay down. Wow, Andy, incredible. Well done.
Andy makes a big fold here.
That is a card player fold right there,
Yeah.
my friends.
Andy will
Wow.
be checking the stream to see that later. Did
Holy
he show?
cow.
So I was right.
What a
Really?
fold.
I'll find out anyway in half an hour. Come on,
Is
tell
it half
me.
hour?
You gotta tell me.
Yeah.
Yeah?
You're the man.
Absolutely terrific fold.
Yeah, he told him to. He didn't make him wait 30 minutes. He let him know that he had the queens. Nice job, Andy.
It's really just awesome job by Andy to know the
I
spot
had
he's
the
in.
nut flush draw. So like,
And
even though I really
fold.
felt like
Yeah,
he had
still fold,
queens, I
for
felt
sure.
like he was bigger than me. Do I risk my whole tournament life on a flush draw?
I wouldn't be whole life, but I think that'd be a good feeling. No, I don't think.
Notice he's not even mentioning the ace.
Yeah.
He's just
it
talking about
would've
his
been
flush
my
draw.
whole life.
Yeah.
It's like almost all my chips. He had like 4,000. This is like 25. What is this? 35.
15 in already.
So Andy raises his sevens here, and Ryan 3-bets the ace-jack on the button. Zafania's got ace-10 suited in the big blind. He's got both of them covered. Ryan has been 3-betting a bit now at this point, so
Yeah.
it is on the radar, I would imagine.
Definitely, he's upped his pre-flop aggression game considerably.
I'll call you.
There you go, Andy. I'll call you. I like it. So here we go. Classic. Let's see what happens.
Andrew Milonakis mixed top set. Unfortunately for him, and he's gonna dunk. He's just gonna dunk out at Ryan and hope Ryan was 3-betting with jacks.
Yep. So he bets 500 into 1.4K.
Now, unfortunately, in this exact spot, Ryan has big cards and not a big pair, and this is just going to induce a fold, I suspect. He does have the ace of hearts, but oh, see, yeah, it's frustrating. Ryan's like, why is nothing I'm doing working? He really should have had a couple of things work at this point, and nothing has.
Yep.
And he's frustrated, and he is going to try to make himself a heart, an ace, or a jack, and he better hope he doesn't see an ace or a jack. Indeed, Andy fills up.
Look at that. Andy wants to bet. He does the little turn and look to the chips.
At this point, when I get a call from Ryan, I'm thinking 2 10s, 2 queens. I can get another bet here.
Yeah. Looks like float the flop is the theme for today, though. So if that's the case, I like Andy's lead.
I do too.
If he's caught onto that people are not folding to the c-bet.
Sure, absolutely. If he's
Granted,
gonna,
this
if,
was
he,
a donk, but
if Ace Jack High is going to call, it's a great lead out.
Good fold.
And that is not the turn card that Ryan was looking for. Once again, he's fortunate to not catch an ace or a jack.
No,
Okay,
I can't
Ryan
fold
is
another river.
confirmed working
Okay.
on his mic.
I don't fucking know. That was
He thought it was
brutal.
working. Maybe his pack wasn't on. They're on break now. Hopefully, coming back from break, Ryan will be mic'd up live.
I don't have kings races.
so as they're going on break,
Alright, I'm
we're gonna
scared.
have a level increase.
I can't look.
And it looks like I'd imagine Troy's gonna start implementing some pressure here after that one hand. I wonder if he's gonna target certain opponents. We'll see.
Even if he had ace king, he had me.
I had to call with queens, right?
He
You
could
can't
have
hold
so
queen.
much more.
Thank you, bro.
I don't want sixes. I can't look.
Everybody eating is
Think you're
making
pretty
Oh,
angry.
I'm good. All right, cool. I'm back.
Quads!
All right, baby,
No
let's
chicken soup
go.
on the
think you made
tables
it.
today. So interesting. Marvin opts to just call with the jacks here in the +1 position here versus Zafania, which seems fine. I think flatting tens here is going to happen a bit. I don't know if he wants to 3-bet get in jacks with his stack versus an under the gun open.
And he, he does inflate the pot and might be able to, get the rest of his chips in on underboard, right?
For sure. Yep.
And not be given credit for something as good as jacks in all likelihood. DePaulo is going to do his dirty work for him, though, here with his 3-bet.
So this will be very interesting to see how Marvin proceeds. Because as these stack depths get a bit shallower, it definitely turns more into some tournament decisions where Marvin is very, very well rehearsed, practiced.
It is a weird spot. You know, he has like a little too much to jam here, but does he want to just like, you know, give Ryan a free shot at his overcards?
Right. And Ryan's 3-bet squeezing here versus an under the gun and a +1 flat.
Looks strong. You know, but I mean, he could easily be doing this for value with worse, like 9s or 10s. That you know, hand that might want to call jacks that jacks are in great shape against.
I think that's difficult. If Marvin calls the 725, 2.1K in the middle, and he'll have like 2.6 behind.
Your jams. Okay. I like this jam. I would be doing this a fair amount here too.
I like it
Even
too.
though it's a bit of an overbet jam, you know.
There's a lot of dead money there.
Exactly. There's already 1.4 out there. I have 3 and change behind. It's not that much. It's barely an overjam actually.
Yeah.
And you know we're gonna deny Ryan in all likelihood his 50% equity.
Yep.
That's so good.
And you hate calling off that much of your stack with jacks, and then you see an over, and then
Exactly right. And what if it's ace XX? You know, jacks are still good, but what are you gonna do? This is I love this shove. And Ryan cannot call here. I don't think. You know, this would be a very speculative call. How is Marvin not nutted here?
all right, 2.6. Did he just push the? I think he's just looking for the difference. Ryan's trying to get a count here. It looks like.
Still working on the table audio for you guys.
Oh no, that looks like cards are on their back.
Wow, Ryan does call.
Ryan
God,
calls.
I'm surprised to see that. Okay, so Marvin's going to have to hold here. Straight coin flip. Can Ryan find some paint? Not yet. He's got one more try. He needs a king or a queen. Quickly now. It is a king! Unreal! Ryan finds it!
He binks the king on the river.
Oh, Marvin!
That is going to do it for Marvin.
God, that hurts. It hurts.
Yep, looks like he is going to put in a 4-bet.
Yep, okay. Well, you know, and he does know that he has a very aggressive image and that, you know, a hand as good as Jack's, people are not going to want to give him credit.
Yeah.
And that if Stefania was 3-betting with something like 2 9s, this is a good 4-bet.
Yeah, at this point, I think we're going to be seeing it go all in the middle.
I think you're right.
It was in Troy's hands.
And his hand said, raise.
There we go.
Here we go. Classic Texas Hold'em coin flip.
Yep, so here we go. Another flip with the jacks this time.
For his tournament life, Stefania needs to find himself some big cards.
This time jacks versus ace-king.
Nope. Couple more tries. No backdoor options, really. And we are down to one more pull. Ace or king, quickly. Not this time. Troy's jacks hold. Credit to D. Kane. Dustin for hanging tough. Still sitting on around 4K, and he's still in the, like, if I double up, if you double me up, it's a hit to you, big chip guy.
Yep.
And I'm right back in it if I do. So he's maintained a presence for himself despite not really catching much yet today.
For sure.
I mean, and even getting cooler with that top hair when his opponent had pocket queens and sustained pretty minimal damage, all things considered.
For sure.
Well done.
Yeah, he's been doing a great job.
The degenerate wakes up with ace-10 suited. Opts to just call out of the big blind and see a multi-way flop. And he makes top and bottom. Andy does hit a king, which, as played, feels like there are some universes, even four-handed, where it could be good. When it just goes raise, call, 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 you know? And there is indeed only one ace out there, and Ryan, uh-oh, though.
He does not look happy about that turn.
Nope. And no one's happy, even though no one has a jack. But man, in a four-handed pot, no one likes anything here that is not a jack.
We'll see who wants it the most. Everyone's got a little tiny piece.
Andy decided to try to make believe he has Broadway. And God, what a sight for Ryan. Now he's praying that Andy has a jack.
And now, too, with this river ace, Andy might think his king is good, or at least chopping.
Yeah, I mean, luckily for Andy, he's not going to sustain much damage here because he loses to basically everything that's not an air ball.
Right.
But, I mean, Ryan's totally capable of firing with air right now. And it's like, how many boats is he going to show up here with, given that he just called out of the big blind?
Mm-hmm. Ryan bets 1.1K.
But he can't have any random jack. And for that reason, I don't predict Andy calls here. But he's going to consider it.
Oh shit! Hey Phil, is my bag on there somewhere? Oh, don't say that. Yeah.
All right, let me see the jack.
He does call.
Yeah. Black one.
Whoa.
Or does he fold?
Fucking no.
Oh my god.
Yikes. That was big.
Sounds
He
like
did
called.
call.
Yeah.
Wow. And
Oh my
Ryan.
god, I'm a retard. Never mind.
I didn't even think he had it close to the boat, but it's
Jesus.
So yeah, that river got Ryan paid there.
Yes, it did.
I don't know
Yeah.
why I felt so
Thank you.
strong.
Sorry,
Maybe
my
because
bad.
it's him, because he
It's
goes
actually
like
on my
crazy sometimes.
That's exactly right.
Sometimes he
Nerves
has
of
it.
the
Holy
spotlight.
shit.
Ryan has developed a loose image for himself, and so Andy just didn't believe him.
I usually don't take it off. That's why I was like, what?
Initial raise from D. Kane here, couple of callers. Ace 8, tough hand. You just miss so much. And there's another set for Ryan against Joe's King Jack.
Deuces again.
Deuces again. And this is what you dream about in Hold'em, where your opponent is never going anywhere and they have 1% next to their name
And Joe bets 325.
for value.
Yep, looks like it's about half the pot.
And man, Ryan has just really been finding some key cards. He is running hot, no doubt. And that is just a smooth call. All Ryan did was call out of the big blind. How is he ever this big?
All right, we'll see how Joe continues. His hand is definitely under-repped.
Even a hand like sixes, middle set, Ryan would 3-bet that hand from the big blind sometimes.
So it looks like Ryan's going to lead out here. Charge the flush draws. He doesn't want to let him draw for cheap. Question is, does Joe make a big fold here, or does he at least peel one? The sizing seems 8.5 into over half pot.
So yeah, so Ryan donks the turn here, huh? Check call lead. Weird. I guess he doesn't want to risk a flush draw that was betting the flop checking back.
I would think so. I definitely think that's a function of it.
And Joe, of course, with top pair, good kicker, is not folding on a 10. And the river is the meaningless honey.
3.1K in the middle. Let's see what Ryan chooses for a sizing here.
What would you do value-wise here?
I feel like I'm going to be gravitating around half pot here. What about you?
Something like that. Yep.
Looks like Ryan goes 1.5. Right around there.
Yep. Totally. That's pretty right on. Pretty right on for what I would bet. Not that I would be right necessarily, but that's what I would think to bet. Thanks, Mark from Connecticut. You're doing good too. Tough spot here for Joe.
Joe's got to be wondering what he's beating. And he's got to be trying to put together the story. The check call lead typically is kind of a nutty line.
Nutty in like crazy, or nutty as nutted?
Yeah, very strong hand here. You don't often see it used as a bluff. Not by the majority of people anyway.
And not for 850. That's not a block donk.
Yeah.
That's like Brian might do that for like 375 as a block donk.
And Joe finds the fold.
Good fold. Good fold. And Ryan Cooler's his opponent, but both were played reasonably. You know, there are some universes where Ryan can get more money against players that are not as savvy. That is a well played top pair right there to minimize the damage.
Yep, for sure. Ryan's in an interesting spot because he's got a really nice stack, and it's probably different in this format, but in tournament poker with the short stacks around here and kind of like almost a final table bubble setting, you can really pick on the medium stacks.
Yes, totally. And here he is going to get picked on by Edson. He's flopped an ace here. Edson's got the nut ace, and Ryan is, I believe, just going to end up doubling up Edson in his hand. Edson's got less than 2K behind. There's already almost a grand out there. Maybe not, but certainly Edson is going to try to maneuver his way to getting his stack in here.
For sure.
So Ryan's just going to call. He's not going to go nuts. If he raises here, he's probably only getting called by better, which is certainly true. Edson just turns the check mark. Ryan not going to be catching any miracles on this board.
The question is, how does Edson play this? With 1.1K in the middle, he's got 1.9K behind. And he's got a tight image. Ryan, I'm sure, knows this at this point.
This is the last day. We are playing down to a completed tournament, hybrid, cash, whatever you want to call this, in just a few hours. And then everyone will get to cash in what they got in front of them.
Looks like he bets about 575. And that looks like Ryan wants to fold. And he does. Nice fold by Ryan there.
That is a good fold. He just gets out on turn. And Edson would have liked to have made more there, given that his opponent had an ace. But we'll take the money.
Mark says, can you top up or rebuy if busted? At the beginning, or when you enter, you can choose to buy a second bullet. And then you could use it at any point during the two-day event.
Indeed, and we did see... was it who used it earlier?
Marvin.
Oh, it was Marvin. Okay, yes, Marvin did use his double buy on day 2, which we don't really see almost ever in the cage.
Yeah, he got in Ace King versus Ace Deuce, and the Ace Deuce hit on him, and it was Edson, I believe, who had the Ace Deuce actually.
Yes,
in that
that's
hand.
right, with the Ace Deuce of Diamonds. Yep.
Binked on Marvin, and then Marvin used his double buy and was immediately back up to 5K after losing his last 1.92K.
Yes, and then was in a great position to build his chip stack, his newly acquired rebuy chip stack further. Got it all in with jacks versus Ryan's King Queen, and Ryan hit a king on the river. Rip. Three-handed board here. Andy flops way the best of it, with 2 overcards to the 9s rather than the 1. Joe is not going to be too comfy here, but he's not ready to fold yet. He's going to call, and Andy only looking to fade a 9. Step 1, fade 4th Street, done. It goes check, check on turn. Step 2, fade 5th Street, done. Andy good.
Check, I got a king.
And Andy happy to just show down here with a mediocre king. He's not really sure where he's at. He hasn't really, I don't think he's played a single hand against Joe.
Could have been on the river. I just didn't want to get fucking trapped.
There you go. Yeah, he's just treading lightly.
Yep.
His stack is not quite in fragile territory, but it probably feels more precarious to him than it actually is.
For sure.
Because he's sitting there looking around at freaking the Taj Mahal,
Yeah. 100%.
We got a big hand here.
Yes, we do. Quickly, Flow Junkie makes a great point. It's not that
Come
poker
on,
players,
Andy.
They're not procrastinators. They're delayed planners.
Flow
Junkie,
look at that.
You
They're-
speak the truth.
They're very carefully planning their trip.
Yes, and they're still planning to this
Sure.
day. Yeah, wow. Huge cooler here for poor Dustin, who has been patience personified. And unfortunately for him, barring a miracle, Edson is going to take the last of his chips.
Yeah, I haven't spent a lot of time, but Dustin seems like a really nice guy from the times that I've hung out with him a little bit.
And for somebody who's newer to the game than a lot of the people in this building, he's held himself,
For sure.
quite nicely.
Well, you look at it's for those of you who watched Andy on stream for the first and second Venom and everything. Look how far he's
It's
come in his
frustrating.
poker game.
Yeah.
Massive. He's made massive improvements.
Right? It's and I think that's just talking to some of the guys that are Stormers and some of the guys that he met down
He's
here.
got
and
one more
everything.
shot. He needs a honey. Not gonna happen. And poor Dustin. That's unlucky. Very unlucky. Only 2 hands you don't want to see Edson have. And fortunately, he had one of them. Great run from Dustin. Well done, DK.
Every now and again, the best hand does hold up.
Yep. It's gonna mean they're excited. They have a big hand.
They want to call.
Yeah. Like they want to call, but like in my experiences with the thinking players and stuff, it's not the same. I mean, it's probably a smaller sample size with me, but when I call the people who I think are thinking players in that spot, I was like, oh great, you have it again,
And that definitely rang true to me. There's always going to be exceptions to rules, right? But it is a good rule to keep in mind next time you're playing live. DePaulo does make himself a pair here. He's got the King of Hearts as well. But Edson's got him notched with them jacks. If Ryan's going to call pre here as he did, I don't really see him folding to 1 bet here. 4 hands. It's hard to make a pair. He's flopped the best hand here plenty of the time.
Edson giving him a good price to call to. Looks like he bet 250, if I'm reading right, 275 maybe.
He raises. That's a check raise from Ryan. And now suddenly Edson is going to be uncomfortable here with the overcard out there. But man, you hate giving up jacks. He's not gonna. He's going to call, and if Ryan wants to continue the charade, it's going to be tough going for Edson. Well, maybe not now.
Yeah, that is not.
Yeah, that's the nut low card for Ryan. And if you're a little newer to the game and you're wondering why, like, doesn't that just make Ryan's pretend queen stronger? Now he has 3 queens. Well, it makes it a lot harder for him to have had a queen in the hole because now 2 of them are on the board, and Edson is going to feel more confident with queens and jacks than with just a random queen on the board.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens here now. Ryan's definitely putting some good pressure on here. 1.7K looks like the bet into 2.4K. And now Edson has to think about calling off a noticeable portion of his stack here. And again, we're getting closer to the end of the day here. We have less than an hour and a half of play. And then people will cash out whatever chips they have in front of them. So me in this spot, I'm thinking if Edson does call, is Ryan going to fire again the river?
Does call, and Ryan is in trouble. He needs a king or a 7 quickly now. Instead, well, I would have thought
So
Ryan would have just rivered deuces full right now. But in this universe, he just has 7s and queens. And at this point, he's got to know that, his 7 is not good. I'm sure he knew that on the turn. I think he was turning his 7 into a bluff on the turn. And now he slows down.
I think Edson's checking here all day. I will be very surprised if Edson bets here.
Wow, he is going to bet.
From the way that he was playing all the way up to this point, it looks like Edson's got a different gear, other gears. No, that's the check.
Oh, he does. Okay, all right.
Now,
Wait, look how he was going
at
to.
At first, when he
Yeah.
grabbed it, it looked like he was going to do it, but when they grab and then like put back like that, like it's for sure a check. He like gave up right. Joe's got another hand here, the jacks. Raises in +1. Looks like Tom called. It looks like. Is that 250? Yep.
Edson going to defend his blind here with his ace. You better hope he doesn't see a 9.
I'm pretty sure Tom's in this hand too. He got removed from the graphic, but I still see he had his cards, and I saw him throw in 250.
Oh, okay. I didn't. Oh, you're right. Yep, I didn't see what he had.
Tom has 4-5 of clubs.
Oh, I did. Okay, yes. Yep, I did see that. And he does make the 3 of clubs is a pretty card, and he's got a pair as well.
We're getting him back in there. Here we go. All right.
What's up? Check.
Bet. 1,075.
So Tom picks up an open-ended straight draw here on the turn. Joe has jacks. There is a queen on the flop.
Oh,
Joe calls 1.1k from his 8.2k stack.
sure.
And then ace on the river. See what Tom does here. He can't assume that his 5 is going to be that good here when Joe check calls him twice. And the flush comes in on the river.
Tom's a blaster, though. And he knows he can't check and win with a 5. The question is, does his opponent have something he can fold? And the answer is somehow yes. And is this going to work?
1900.
His story doesn't make a ton of sense, but it doesn't matter. Like, what are you doing here with jacks? How can your opponent not have you?
Looks like he bet 1.9k.
This would be a absolutely sick hero call by Joe. I don't know how in the world he's going to do it. I just don't see it.
Joe knows Tom's capable, though.
That's true.
Right? So this is an interesting spot to see. It's so much easier when you can see the cards. I love it.
Of course. And but the thing is you just feel like such a moron. Like if you call and he's just like trip sixes or something, you're just like, dude, of course you just have it.
Yeah.
Or like, you ace 3 suited and he just got there.
Mm.
But man, he wants to. Tom is so sick. This is such a sick bluff. I still think this is going to work.
I think it works most of the time, too.
Yeah. It's just not much you can do. Tough spot. You're like, man, really? Like, dude, I just called you. Like, I just called a big bet on the turn. And you're still going to blast off? Like, how are you bluffing? How am I folding?
Right, exactly. It's interesting, though. If it wasn't an ace of spades, I wonder what cards Joe's calling. Because when he's calling the turn there, I have to imagine he's got to think. Tom's likely to fire this river again, right?
Right. Yeah, maybe his plan was like, I'm calling rivers, but like the ace put a wrench in those spokes, I'm not sure if this is exactly what you guys are saying, but I am going to dub us the 1998 Toyota Camry of poker streams. Sure, there's not a lot of bells and whistles, but we'll get you where you need to go.
I like that. I'll take that.
And we'll be going into the next freaking century. Reliable, we're there for you.
Yep. We, I was going to say retain our trade-in value.
Yeah, we hold value. Absolutely. Not Ryan, but we do.
I'm not good enough to get live reads off. I don't know if I'm bluffing or value betting, dude.
I believe that. Ryan has no clue if this is a bluff 3-bet or a value 3-bet.
Ryan's still going at it versus the big stacks, though. Just 3-bet Tom, just 3-bet Troy here.
Good on Ryan for not slowing down here. He's so close to the finish line and he's still torching. He just flopped himself a wheel draw. And Troy has a straight draw of his own.
So Ryan continues here.
And he is going to puke, see this call.
Looks like he bet 1.3 into 1.8.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Triple. It's 2 to 3K. That's pretty good for a card that old that was never that much in the first place, Jack of clubs, that is an ugly turn card for Ryan. Not that there were a ton of turn cards he really wanted to see, but that is amongst the worst.
Troy checks again. See if Ryan fires one more. I think, though, he probably feels like if he checks, he loses when Troy bets the river, and he doesn't improve.
I'd say so. Impossible spot. He does check back, and he's like 5, 5, 5, 5. Instead, it's an 8.
Yeah, looks like Troy's not trying to get too out of line here.
I'm really surprised to see Troy check this river.
Seems like Troy's kind of slowing down here towards the end of the day.
You know, here's what's crazy though. Yeah, he is. Certainly he has, which is interesting. Ryan thinks he has to bet to win. Or at least he's considering whether or not that's the case right now. Wait, what? Oh, he bet. Oh, wait, the graphics were wrong. He did bet. Okay, I was going to say, I don't understand. He's checking 6 high? It didn't seem like a Troy move.
And look, Troy actually went all in on that river.
He shipped. Wow, he shipped.
For 4x pot there, basically.
Sick.
And he flips over the
With
6
love
high.
from Canada.
Sick.
With love from Canada, Ryan says.
And Ryan has to fold out his best hand, of course.
Let me commentate this hand because I have a good hand here.
I doubled it. Like,
Ryan-
this is maybe the second time it was just a final table.
Ryan's gonna commentate this hand.
Yeah, Ryan, commentate.
So here I'm hype. Oh wow, they had 9s and all types of shit.
Right there.
All right, so here I look down out of my hand out of turn because I always do and probably give away a lot of reads. And I know I have 10s already and I'm like, yo, this is good. This is what I'm thinking, like, yo, this is good.
This is really good.
Yo, 10's good.
And then,
Wow, Tom, you got
what?
That's a 3-bet.
Why did Tom disappear on the graphic, but he called?
3-bet to 1.5.
Because he Tom had said had 9s and he flatted. So
that changes.
So you up your 3-bet size.
yeah, I up my 3-bet
Yeah.
size, for sure.
And then just Troy
And then-
gonna try to set mine here.
Well, Joe's wasting everybody's time here. So he's just thinking like, oh, I want to finish the day. Yeah, he's like,
literally
you know
stalling.
what? It's a good spot to 4-bet lose.
He is, yeah.
And
What's
he's
it?
live.
Clock. What is he considering? Like, does he?
Oh,
think
he's
that-
stalling.
Okay, yeah.
He's stalling.
Right, and then Troy here, I think he's gonna fold it. I'm like, all right, sweet, whatever. I'll get it through. I don't care. I'll just win some chips. We have like 12 minutes left in the day. It's near the end, and he had just taunted me viciously with the 6-8 or whatever.
No, it was much lower
6-5.
than that.
It was worse. Yeah, it was like it was worse. And then also I was trying to like, he's like a London guard. Like you can't get a reaction out of him, even when he had a fruit plate, even when he was being mad.
You're like
gangster.
playfully slapping him. He's just standing there.
Yo, for real, for Will. So Tom's still in this hand, you know, I think.
So Troy is gonna continue here.
Yeah, Troy just like looks at me and he's like, yo, I think this kid's a bitch. He even said it in the previous hand, basically. He said, I was like, yo, I was prepared to call a jam all day from you with top pair.
There's a lot of
and he's
talk
like, but
between
nobody
Ryan
does it.
and
We were bickering,
Troy.
we were bantering
No,
this.
like,
No, but
previous
leading up to
15
Mine's
this.
silent as hell during hands.
So,
other hand he goes,
I have snap jammed here. I snap jam.
Oh, he 4-bet
He
you.
4-bet me.
And you jammed?
3.9K, and I snap jam. He's
Yeah.
asking for a count now.
10's are nuts.
And I'm,
That's a
I'm
sick
very
jam.
thrilled for him to fold, but
Sick jam.
But Troy's just throwing it in.
And Troy with a
this is my whole-
$5,000 gift at the last second.
Not necessarily, dude. This is look at this.
Oh, wait, he
I
called?
could lose. Yeah, he called.
Oh,
Dude.
he called?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
What?
My whole cage is on the line, bro.
Okay.
Pure double. It's a pure double with like 6 hands left.
He called?
Troy back.
He made it like 4,400. And
Scott,
it was like
he
another
back raised. He
5,500
back
call.
raised to like 4,000, 5,000. He had to call 4,000.
Got it.
Oh, yeah. It was like that.
But he only had 5% equity.
He's throwing 10 off.
Pure double.
Yes, no moment.
That's sick, dude. Hell yeah.
I
Wow.
know, man. And
A
after
full
all the-
double?
Did you hear what he said?
Yeah, yeah.
Come into.
Did you hear what he said?
Yeah,
a
we're
pure
listening now.
double. I know. That's why we wanted to come down here.
Tens versus
Yeah, yo,
Scream
Boris has
so
2% of me in the fucking for being a mod in my chat.
Call.
And I got to do this
Paul
sick
makes it
degenerate
200
coin flip of because I had a Twitter winner of 10% of me and an Instagram winner of 10% of me. I couldn't merge them, so I said I'm gonna coin flip between which of those guys is
Yeah,
gonna win.
right.
And it's so sick for them.
That's a sick. Have you done the toss yet?
No, because I don't. The amount isn't announced yet. How much I end up with. I
yeah,
might have
fair
dumped it all
enough.
off, but we don't know.
Yeah.
It's not over yet.
Is that it? I heard a lot. I heard applause, which means
Yeah,
I
that's
believe we've reached the finish line
Yeah.
of the cage. Yeah.
Woo!
All
Good
right.
job, you. Good job, Andy.
So chip counts. Andy made it. What'd you make?
let's pretend I don't know the chip count exactly. No, I lost like half of my stack over the last hour or so. I think I left with like 2650, but I mean, I was close to keeping 5K-ish, but I got fucked by this guy a little bit.
Yep.
And like 2 other big hands. I don't even remember at this point. But
Everybody put the head in, really.
I really wanted to. I really wanted to last to the buzzer, so I was playing.
You did. Great job, man. And that's, dude. You know, it's almost $3,000. Nothing to sneeze at.
So what was your
Well
final
done.
bag then?
20. See, when I say 20, I don't mean 2000. I mean 20K, bro.
Oh.
But no, like 20.9, 20,000.
Wow.
900 something.
Wow.
Nice.
That is impressive, dude. Well done,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
That double up
Thank
at the
you.
end. Just here we go. All right.
Final
Official
chip
chip count. Troy, after giving Ryan a whole hell of a lot of chips there at the end. 41K and change for Troy. 3-bet Tom cashed out over 23,500. Ryan, like he said, almost 21,000. Edson, who made an incredibly impressive spin up from under 1,000. I think he had like 700 at one point. He got pretty lucky with an ace and a deuce and doubled up, but from there just played terrific poker, spun it up, and ended up with $8,500.
Oh, damn, good for him.
Great
Yeah,
poker
good for
by
him.
Edson. That was really awesome to watch. Lawn Car cashed out over 7,100. Awesome.
Yeah, he was the first guy from Bolivia that we've ever had here at the cage.
The Lawn Car.
Oh,
He
yeah,
would've
yeah,
seen
yeah, that other guy.
Edson, yeah, right on. And then just the last couple, Joe, 5,700 and change, and then Andy, nothing to sneeze at, 2,600 bucks and change.
Hey, I lost the buzzer.
Absolutely,
I lost the buzzer.
Congratulations to you guys for making it to the finish line. And that's it. All right, until the next cage coming up at the end of March. It's Scott for Bet on Drew and everybody, the Stormers and ACR saying so long.
Everybody, we'll check you out later. We're going to send you to another ACR Pro, Jeff Boski stream. So hang tight. Jeff Boski is streaming right now. We're going to send you there. Make sure you check it out. Hit the follow button. We'll see you later. Peace.
Party.
Cocktails.